Yo, what's up, movie people? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Movie News. We got a lot to talk about today. We got delays because studios won't pay their writers and actors fair wages, Invincible news, The Boys Gen V spin-off news, and tons more, so let's get right into it. Alright, so first up on the news, I want to talk about an interesting subject. I want to talk about if both films keep their current release dates, The Marvels is not going to have any IMAX screens, as Dune Part 2 will be prioritized for 5 to 6 weeks. So if Dune Part 2 and The Marvels stays in their date, The Marvels will have 0 IMAX screens. They could be lucky and get Dolby, but they're mostly going to have just the normal, regular format screens, and Dune Part 2 will have all the IMAX screens for 5 to 6 weeks run. You know, this is a very interesting topic because if you talk about a Marvel movie, some Marvel fans might get mad, but I think Dune deserves the IMAX screens. Like, it deserves all of them because Dune is shot by Greg Fraser. He's an amazing cinematographer. Denis Villeneuve. The first Dune is so good, and Dune Part 1 made about 20% of its money from IMAX screens. So Dune Part 2 really needs those screens, and it's shot with IMAX cameras for like the whole movie. I'm not sure if Marvel's has shot the whole movie that way, but I know Marvel doesn't like to shoot their movies with IMAX the whole movie. So I think Dune should get the screens and deserves them. I am a big fan of Dune Part 1. I saw it like 5 times. Dune Part 2 I'm planning to see many times in IMAX, a lot. Hopefully they do a double feature. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one, though. Do you think Dune deserves the IMAX screens over the Marvels? What are your thoughts on that one? Next up on our news, Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd will star in A24's Death of a Unicorn. The film follows a daughter and father who run over a unicorn on their way home. You know, this screams A24, and A24 is making it, so of course it's going to be a weird description, and we don't have all the details, but that sounds really weird, really unique, and I'm kind of there for it. And Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, that's 2 all-stars right there that I'm really excited to see in an A24 movie, especially Jenna Ortega because she's amazing, but Paul Rudd in an A24 movie, sign me up. I'm there day one. I can't wait for what A24 does with this one. Probably will come out in 2024, 2025 maybe, so I can't not wait for the Unicorn movie, I guess we'll call it that. We have our first poster for Invincible Season 2, and it's coming out November 3rd on Prime Video. I started watching Invincible Season 1 midway through the first season, and that show is just magnificent. What they do with animation, that show is just insane, so graphic. It's for adults, so don't let your kids watch this show. I picked up all 3 comics, and I'm just now getting into them. I want to finish all the comics before Season 2, but I cannot wait for this show. I love all the characters, all the relationships that are built, and I think Amazon Prime does so well with their 8-episode structure, and they're all like 60 minutes, 45 minutes. Disney Plus, we're talking about you, stop with their 6-episode bullcrap, but Amazon Prime really does knock out of the park, and Invincible is just an amazing show. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of a superhero show, but very graphic and very violent. There's a lot of blood, a lot of killing, kind of like The Boys, but animated. And I think everyone will like that show. If you go into it blind, you'll really find a lot to enjoy. But on more graphic terms, we have the first 3 episodes of The Boys spinoff Gen V released on September 29th on Prime Video. So basically, Prime Video is going straight from Gen V to Invincible. So 3 really bloody and graphic shows after each other. So that's kind of exciting. We also got the first trailer for this, so find that on YouTube. And I think the first trailer actually looks pretty good. You know, some people say it does kind of look like a CW show. Some aspects I can agree with that on, but I still think Prime Video knows what they're doing. I think that this will be an awesome watch, and it will keep us entertained until The Boys Season 4 comes out. I think it's coming out next year. So excited for Season 4, but I hope that Gen V does do well, and I hope it's great so we can get more seasons of it because it looks fun, and we got Clancy Brown over here as one of our main stars. I cannot wait. Looks bloody, looks graphic, and I'm really on board with the college feel of it. We're in college. It's a superhero college, and it's just going to get nasty because we don't know what happens under that college, but it's going to be bad. The live action Borderlands movie will release on August 9th, 2024 in theaters. This one's been delayed many times. It's having problems behind the scenes. The writers, the directors had a lot of reshoots. Has a great cast though. Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Ariana Greenblatt from 65 this year, and Barbie, she's amazing, and Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm actually very excited for this one. I've only played Borderlands a couple times. I didn't really like the game all that much. I'm sorry if you love the game, but I'm still excited to see what they do with the feature film of it, but I'm worried because they've had a lot of problems, as I've said. But it's coming out next year, so it's a long wait, but we got our 2 little pictures here. I wish they would just put out some behind the scenes pictures of where you can actually see them in their costumes, because this picture on the left you can't really see them at all because they're shadowed out. But I mean, I'm still kind of excited for it. It's not on the top of my anticipated list, but the cast does intrigue me. We have some runtimes for some of the films premiering in competition at Venice Film Festival, and basically these films are going to go to Venice or Toronto, and we're going to get them later this year. So we got Poor Things, 141 minutes, Maestro, 129 minutes, The Killer, 113 minutes, Ferrari, 130 minutes, and Priscilla, 110 minutes. So these are all basically award movies that you guys should be looking for. They're smaller movies, so they're probably going to go limited first, then wide, and I think they're going to all compete at the Oscars. I don't understand how The Killer is premiering at a film festival, but they can't take it to theaters, as this is a Netflix movie, David Fincher's new movie, and sadly, I don't think we're going to get to see it in theaters. I don't know why Netflix wants to take it to a film festival, but they can't take it to theaters. You know, that's really disappointing that I have to watch The Killer at home on Netflix and not in a big screen theater. But the one I'm most anticipated for out of these, or 5, is Poor Things with Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo. I think that one's going to be terrific. And I think Maestro will be really good. Bradley Cooper's in that one. I'm very excited for those 2 movies. Let me know in the comments which out of these 5 movies are you most excited for. Poor Things, I think, is going to be very beautiful. And Emma Stone might be nominated for another Oscar for that one. We got news about Lando. Donald and Stephen Glover are set to write the Lando series. You know, I was surprised when I saw this story because I didn't think that this show was still getting made. This show was announced like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I didn't think it was still getting made at all. I thought they were canning this one like Rogue Squadron, but I'm actually excited for it. You know, I'm happy that's still going because Donald Glover as Lando was really cool. One of the best parts of the Solo movie. Solo movie, I think, is actually pretty good. Has a lot of fun parts. It looks great. And Donald Glover, he was so good in that movie. I loved him so much. Hopefully this series is good. Both the brothers are working on it, so hopefully it'll be well. I mean, Donald Glover does amazing on Atlanta, so I'm pretty sure he'll do well on the writing that one. But let's get to the main topic of the video. Studios cannot pay their writers or pay their actors. They just don't want to for some reason, so we're now facing delays. So studios, if you're watching this, you probably aren't. Just pay your actors and writers a fair wage so you can make some money. And this is going to hurt the theaters, which is going to be super annoying. This is basically Sony delaying all their movies. Sony has hardly any major movies left for the year. They got like Gran Turismo. That's their last major movie of the year. Napoleon, but that's kind of an Apple movie. So let's get through all the delays real quick. We're going to go really fast. Kraven the Hunter has been delayed August 30th, 2024. It's basically the new Morbius, so good for them. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has been delayed indefinitely. I think this is partially because of the strike, but partially because they got a lot of work to do on this movie, and it was never going to make that date. But I think it might make a late 2024 date or early 2025. So hopefully we get a new date soon, but that's been delayed indefinitely. Then we got Venom 3 will now release July 12th, 2024. Venom movies are kind of mid for me, so not that excited, but it's Venom. You know, it's Venom. Ghostbusters Firehouse will open on March 29th, 2024. I like the first one a lot, so I'm actually looking forward to this one, and March seems like an interesting date for this one, but I'll still go watch it. Bad Boys 4 will now release in theaters June 14th, 2024. Very excited for Bad Boys 4. I thought Bad Boys 3 was a lot of fun, watched it at home, and I wish I saw it in theaters, but I'm excited for Bad Boys 4. I'm very excited. I think it looks like a lot of fun. Madam Web will now release in theaters earlier on February 14th, 2024. I don't know why this is releasing on Valentine's Day. It's not a Valentine's Day movie, but Sony always just does some stupid stuff, and I'm excited for the actresses in this movie, but the movie overall, probably going to be bad because it's Sony. And then the last delay, Karate Kid's upcoming movie will now be relocating because of the strike from June 7th, 2024 to December 13th, 2024. That's a big push, and I don't know how this movie is going to do because I don't know what the story is and how they're going to continue a Karate Kid universe. But okay, I'll probably still watch it because I love the movie theaters. But that's all the delays because the studios won't pay their writers. That's all for the movie news today. Let me know what you thought of the topics I talked about. Like this video, helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel. I upload almost every day. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.